Ba-dum.
That's hot.
Ba-dum,
Hot
ba-dum,
coffee.
ba-dum, 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 ba-dum.
That's what happens when you get a refill.
Hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
Well, welcome to part 3 of this week's YAWA, and this will be the third and final part. For those of you that are just tuning in to our channel for the first time, definitely hit that subscribe button and then go back and watch part 1 and 2. Talked a lot about those weren't real words. We talked a lot about some really cool stuff. There were some great questions
About training during the off season and some puppy stuff. You know, all the good stuff.
And we mentioned some of the cool new stuff. Merch-wise, we've got coffee mugs because we're coffee-aholics. And some new hats that are up on the website. If you like hats and you want to represent, because all of you have been asking for a very long time, when are you going to get more hats? We got them.
Yes, we did. And my favorite one so far is the America hat. Just in time for the 4th of July. So
America.
Get it while the getting's good.
Guaranteed to make you run faster and jump higher. Not really, but we put that in the description anyway.
Okay. I didn't have anything to do with that description.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to get started on some of these great questions. This one's from Lacey_Burnett on Instagram. I love your channel and content.
Thank you.
It's extremely helpful in training my GSP. I have a 2-year-old GSP, and anytime I make him sit and wait, whether it's training or in public, he starts to whine profusely. He starts to whine as soon as he is told to stop and wait. We've tried to use an e-collar, but it doesn't seem to work. Any advice on how we can get him to stop whining and be patient? We got him at 1 year old where he came to us without any previous training, so any tips would be very much appreciated. Thanks.
So the fact that you have age against your side is going to be a little bit more of a struggle, because anytime the dogs are older, you hear, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, you can. It just takes a little longer, and
because he's got 2 years of habits right now under his belt that we're going to have to be working against.
A lot longer, depending on the level of conditioning. So all you have to be doing here is the key is going to be proper timing and reinforcement-based training. I wouldn't venture to the negative aspect of things, or the punishment-based things, not negative, but punishment-based training right away. I would be more inclined to just show him that whining isn't what gets the response, and that's going to take some time, which is going to involve you sitting, having him stay and wait, and waiting him out. That might take an hour. I mean, it could take a little longer than that, but I mean, realistically, you could be looking at a solid hour of sitting there listening to the little whimper butt.
Depends how persistent and determined he is and his personality with that.
Yes, and then as soon as the whining stops for more than a second, it's like,
make sure it really has stopped.
It's stopped. Then you can utilize a clicker in this time period, and you would mark and say good boy and reward him, and then start again. So that's one rep that took an hour.
It's kind of like what we do with some of the free shaping in the kennel with dogs and training, where, we want a desired behavior like laying down, but it needs to be the dog's idea. You can't really, mark and reward quiet behavior out of a dog until it's their idea, truly. You can't stop them from whining.
You can't say, hey, quiet down. And they go, ooh. And then you go, ooh, good boy. No, that's not going to work. It's not going to work.
But the powerful part of free shaping is maybe that first rep takes an hour, like Ethan said. The next rep might take another hour, but they're going to start picking up, oh, that's how I'm getting this reward. Okay, stop whining faster next time. And faster. And then soon they're going to stop whining, within a couple minutes typically.
They will stop. I guarantee you. They will stop. It will seem like it's not going to happen, but they will stop. And I mean, it could be hours and hours, depending on the dog, of waiting them out in their crate or waiting, all of those kind of things. It's all about being able to show them this is what we're looking for.
This
And
is
you
what's
have to
getting you rewarded.
Yep. And I mean, you think about a dog sitting and staying or place training for an hour, they're eventually, if there's not a lot of activity going on, they're going to be like, this is boring, and lay down. And then when that shift happens between them going, obviously I'm not getting what I want, I'm going to just lay down, or I'm going to stop whining or do something else, click to mark that and say, that right there is what we want. We want you to be
calm and quiet. And a lot of trainers don't utilize free shaping because it takes a while, especially in those first few reps. And we're trying to be efficient and trying to get through all these dogs and all these training sessions, and we don't have time for an hour. Well, if you're impatient in your training, you're not going to actually end up teaching your dog patience. So you just have to be patient, put in the time now, and then hopefully in the next, 6 months, this whining is no longer an issue.
I heard something really cool yesterday. And this is from a different trainer. It's Bob over at Lone Duck Outfitters or Lone Duck Kennels. They have a podcast, and they're, I know, starting a YouTube channel. And he said, you have to train, I'm just trying to do this without screwing it up. You have to train a fast dog slow and a slow dog fast. And basically that mentality to...
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, I was, I was like, ooh, deep. So the dog that's amped up and is energetic and bold and pushy and all those things, you have to work a ton on patience and slowing everything down so that they can come down to that manageable level. But then you have that dog that's like, meh. You need to have short sessions that are faster,
lots of excitement.
You need to be building them up to bring them up to that level where they, they kind of fit into more what we're going to need to see out of them.
And not drag those sessions out where they're like, now this is really boring, or I'm tired. I like that.
I like it too. That's why I just said it.
It's a good one.
But if you guys get the opportunity, definitely hop over, check his stuff out. So a lot of great content, just the same, and really, really, really good guy.
That was a good little segue. Next question from Christine Rousey. I have a 2-year-old GSP.
Wait a second. Is that Rhonda's distant cousin?
I don't know.
Can I get an autograph?
I have a 2-year-old GSP, the 6th GSP.
Just asking.
He is great in everything except leash walking. Any hints appreciated. Tried a harness, a nose collar, martingale harness, or martingale stopping, slow walking. He accepts all this but wants to lead.
You have done the things. I mean, really, it sounds like you've done the things.
Yes.
Does it say how old?
2-year-old.
Did I miss that? 2-year-old.
You were all excited about getting an autograph. So he missed the first part.
Yeah, she's a professional wrestler. MMA goes professional wrestler. Come on now.
2-year-old GSP. Their 6th GSP.
Got it.
Okay, now he knows all the details again. So you've tried all the things, which we actually have talked about doing a video comparing all of these different types of leashes and healing equipment. We like our Easy Lead for healing because it's really easy and it works for a lot of dogs. I can't say all dogs because we've had a few people that say, yeah, my dog hates this, I'm sending it back. Most of the time that truly is because they haven't given it enough time or introduced it properly. But we haven't seen those sessions, so I can't make a complete generalization. However, trying out our Easy Lead might be a really good option for you. So we have some videos on our channel showing how to use the Easy Lead, how to introduce it, how to put it on properly, as well as it's available on our online store.
StandingStoneKennels.com/store. We'll get you there.
And then there's categories, and Easy Lead is one of the top categories. So then you can get one, try it out. The thing that we want to talk about, because this is how it gets used to begin with a lot of times, is as a healing, pulling management system instead of a training aid and tool.
And that's wrong. Throw a big red X up here. Pulling management system.
Yeah. It's not meant to be used that way forever because any training tool that's used improperly can cause problems, of course.
Yep.
So we want to use the Easy Lead as a pressure on, pressure off training system so that when your dog isn't pulling ahead and is in a proper heeling position, the pressure comes off. If they start pulling ahead, that pressure comes on. And we don't want to toughen them to that pressure, which is how prong collars typically get used improperly, is the dogs end up toughening themselves to that pressure and they're like, well, I can just pull through this. So what ends up happening if you're just using it as a pulling management system is the dogs will eventually go, I could probably deal with this discomfort a little bit so that I can pull against it still. But that level of pull is so much less than what it has been in the past. It still seems doable, I guess, and not a big deal. So don't use it as a pulling management system. Use it as a progression training tool where you start with it up over the muzzle, pressure on.
To develop a behavior of not pulling on the leash.
Yes. And then you're going to be able to transition from over the muzzle where it's flipped up to just a slip style lead.
Which is a slip style leash is the way a lot of dog trainers, bird dog trainers especially, use. That's all they use to train with. So we were adding basically another step, a baby step in the beginning process to help develop better behaviors faster. And we talk about a lot that the smaller steps we take in dog training, the faster that we can get there. And that's what we've kind of done with this. So then you have the slip lead.
And then you can start overlaying an e-collar with your corrections, and then eventually transition to a clip lead, and then get to the point where you can heel off lead. That's not something we recommend doing in town ever because you can't necessarily have perfect timing all the time if that transmitter is not in your hand, and there's too many unpredictable things that can happen when you're walking along the side of a road or something like that.
We shot a video recently that shows exactly how to do this, and the name of the video is...
Are you talking about the 3 biggest mistakes?
Yeah, the 3 biggest mistakes that people make.
We shot a video recently, yet the video still doesn't show up in our recent videos because we shoot a lot of videos.
Yeah, we do. We shoot a lot of videos, guys.
But we can put the link up down here somewhere. But it's the 3 biggest healing mistakes, I think.
That's what I'm trying to find exactly what it's called.
Still looking for it. But I would try out the Easy Lead and see if that is a good solution for you. He'll still look. I'm going to move on to the next.
There it is. It says, how to teach any dog to heel perfectly. And then the thumbnail that you're looking for, it's a picture of Roglet. And it says 3 biggest healing mistakes. I can't make that any bigger. So
no, not in that view.
Wah.
I said 3 biggest healing mistakes, but that was the thumbnail title. So if you searched for that, you might not find it. That's why. Hopefully it'll come up along the bottom. I was trying to try and make sound effects with my mouth. It didn't work. Next question. Not those sound effects. From, I love this Instagram tag, Lord Albert the Pug.
We have a lot of dogs that follow us. It's fantastic.
I love it. Hi, first of all, thanks for shipping your Easy Lead all the way across the pond to Denmark. You're welcome. We were just talking about the Easy Lead.
I would guess that the Easy Lead isn't going to work all that well on the pug, though. There's no muzzle.
I think he has a, we're talking about a new dog, a Wime Lab mix.
That one will work.
The next part of the question. Now, my 8-month-old Wime Lab mix is quite skittish when it comes to loud, sudden noises. I assume due to a bad experience during New Year's where we got caught outside at fireworks started close to us. Yeah. I'm training her for upland hunting, so need her to be desensitized to gunfire, but I'm afraid to make her even more scared. Even the small poppers at a long distance, like 150 feet away, will make her become noticeably nervous, even with her favorite bumper being thrown all at the same time.
So
there's more.
Oh, sorry.
What can I do to help her overcome her fear of loud noises and start associating gunfire with something positive? She is not really food motivated, but I can use her toys and especially her bumpers as a motivator. So this is a great question, and I wanted to hit on it because guess what's coming up?
4th of July.
Yes, and a lot of people
insert fireworks here.
Yeah, and a lot of people have puppies. We have a puppy. The great thing about where we live in the middle of nowhere, so we don't have to worry about getting caught outside and fireworks going off unexpectedly. But I know a lot of people that live in town have to worry about this in their neighborhood because your puppy's going to have to go potty outside at some point in time, and you never know when the neighbor kids are going to light off some fireworks or firecrackers in the side yard.
So, first things first, we get this question a lot. Yes, we do ship outside of the United States. Anything on our store, bop in there. It'll give you estimated shipping rates. If it looks ridiculous, it's because we've tried to not get screwed. There's been a few times where stuff's popped through and it's like cost us $100 to ship something to somebody because it didn't calculate correctly.
I just looked up some shipping for a client as a quote, $165, and they passed, which I completely understand.
Fully understand. So if you look at it and you go, wow, that's ridiculous, just reach out to us. We want to get stuff to you and we want to find something reasonable. We're just trying to cover our butts too.
Yep.
Now, on to the fireworks.
And desensitizing and how to work through this.
I'm going to say it right now because the meme is going to start rolling around. It always does every year. Oh, your dog's scared of fireworks? That's cute. Mine looks for birds. Well, it's not. There's no context, and it's not a real thing. Maybe you're lucky and your dogs enjoy fireworks. Fantastic. But there's a lot of dogs that are great bird dogs that won't because there's zero context associated with just loud noises going off and bright lights, and it can be startling. So don't feel
like you've got a bad bird dog.
Yeah, and if you see the meme, don't pass it around. It's not helpful to anybody. So
agreed. That's an unpopular opinion that I'm sure is going to make the cut for Ethan's brutally honest comments. Hey, don't be stupid. Okay, don't pass the meme around about how your dog's is a bird dog and better than everybody else's because it's not afraid of fireworks.
Badass that loves fireworks.
Because we have had a dog, Snap, that she was afraid of fireworks and thunder and storms and one hell of a bird dog. So
yeah, but she didn't like the other things. So what do? We help her. It's a big part of it. There's zero context associated with that, and that's the key here. All right, so there it is.
So
got that off my chest. I feel better.
Feels so much better now. So Lord Albert, the pug, do you have access to live birds? Is something that I would ask you about because he didn't mention. No, he said bumpers birds.
And food and.
Yep. So with food motivated with your 8-month-old, I would say that's something else that you could be working on is building food drive and motivation. Dogs that are, willing to work for food and willing to work in training sessions are going to have a better mentality about training overall and a better work ethic and more drive and desire. So we can teach and train good eating habits by using their meal for their training sessions. And then when they lose focus or lose interest, we take the meal away. It's a little tough love, but dogs aren't going to let themselves starve. They want to eat. They need to eat. So don't let them graze. Don't let them pick at it all day. If they're done eating and not focused anymore, take it away. Come back with a regular meal portion for dinner. Try again with a training session. Again, if we lose focus, take it away. In a couple of days, they're not going to be missing any meals.
Well, and we're not big naturalists, if you will, as it comes to training. There's probably some fancy word. Maybe Jess can find it for us. She knows all the right words.
I know.
So it's But I'm not saying like, they have to be trained like wolves because they're 9% genetically the same, and that has to be no. But they do have to be dogs first, and they are bred and developed and designed to be working dogs. So their brains operate better when they're working. They just do. It's what comes most natural to them. And when they're not in a state of understanding that work is a part of life, they end up, pushing to different outlets that becomes destructive or not obedient or not willing to do kind of what we're looking for. So
I definitely think that building some good food motivation is going to help you out overall with your dog. So that if you can get live birds and get a bird introduction, those live flapping excitement-based birds, dogs are prey-driven animals. They want to catch and kill things. I mean, that's also what they've been bred to do for years and years and years.
Yes. He said he's using poppers of some sort, like light poppers.
I'm assuming poppers in some kind of a blank pistol type of gun.
So it kind of depends on what you're looking at there. Now, I do want to point out that any type of rifle round has a different type of sound. And it's
a little sharper usually. Yes.
And that goes back into the context aspect of things. I have an entire kennel full of dogs that are not, all of my personal dogs. Killed lots of birds of them, no gunfire issues, but you get a rifle out and it's a louder / a different noise. And even that I've made a long time ago, but I made a mistake of shooting something while they were in a close vicinity. It was like we're in the country and a coyote ran through the backyard or, that kind of something happened. I don't remember exactly, but I know that I noticed that the rifle sound startled the dog. And it was like, they have a gunfire interdiction. It was like, whoa, what the heck was that? Because it's a completely different noise. So don't use 22s, don't use pistols, don't use
rifles.
Any type of rifle. Any of those kind of things are going to be different. So pick poppers. I'm hoping your poppers are either like 12 gauge shotgun poppers or
we use 209 primers as
well. Primers are going to be a similar pop type of noise, or then just the shotgun themselves. Lower gauges are going to be better. Lighter rounds are going to be better. And then you said 150 feet, give or take, which is approximately 50 yards, if I'm doing my math right. And you can go a further distance. I mean, you can go all the way out to...
We usually, when we did our puppy intro, we probably were 70 yards. When we did our puppy seminar, we were probably about 70 yards to start out with.
Pretty close, yeah. So almost double the distance that you're talking about. And we used poppers. Now, those are Kent. We use all Kent ammunition on here. And they were Kent's field trial blanks is what they're called.
And they work in a regular 12-gauge shotgun.
Anybody that's struggling, we're also set up as a dealer because I wanted to be able to get those blanks because a lot of people struggle to find those. They don't carry them in very many stores. So we are set up as a dealer. You have to reach out to me. I don't have stuff on the website, and I won't. So
because there are definitely a lot more limitations as far as ammunition sales. We would have to check into sending them to Denmark.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. But all of that being said, full circle here.
Start out further away.
And then the last thing is going to be, if you're around buildings, this is something that can be overlooked often as you go out in the backyard and you're right by your shed in the back of your house and you're, I need to reach out to I've got a brother who is a acoustician, not an acoustical engineer. He reminds me of that every time I mention him as an acoustical engineer. So I need to reach out and find him so I can get the actual words. But basically, the sound bounces off the buildings and makes weird echoes and weird things happen.
And then it sounds like that gunfire is coming from all these different directions, which can be even more overwhelming to a dog that's unsure.
Yes.
So those are all things to keep in mind. And
so get in a wide open field, increase your distance, and find something that your dog is more excited about. Hopefully that's birds.
Yes. But don't do it all at once. Don't be like, well, we're going to do all these things right now.
Yeah.
If you do get live birds and your dog hasn't been introduced to live birds yet, you want to do that first before adding the gunfire. And something too, depending on the level of sensitivity your dog has, and if you can go to the exact same place to train over and over and over, you can build excitement without gunfire involved in the beginning and just having fun with bumpers, having fun with those live birds and those toys, and then go home. Then come back, do the same thing. Then go home. Then come back and maybe do one shot. Get more excited after that gunfire, then go home.
That would be the last thing.
And do a couple shots. Because if you've already got...
Go.
I've got to flow here.
Go. You got to flow.
Because if you
flow, baby, flow.
If you've already got a sensitivity issue, you really need to go slowly. You can't push through that. You can't say, I'm going to get you over this. I need to take a step back, build confidence, build excitement, make that dog let that dog have as much fun with the situation and build their boldness and confidence back up before reintroducing any gunfire. And don't push it. If you see a slight, I did pay attention to that, even at 70 yards, back up further. And don't even, go back to gunfire right away. Again, more excitement. You want to have as much excitement as possible when that gunfire is going off so that they don't even pay attention to it.
That would be the key. And I think that a lot of people get hung up on overdoing training sessions in general. And this is one that's very easy to overdo. As soon as you see any, slowdown or lack of, like they're pumped for the first 2 or 3 or 4 retrieves. And then you're like, I think I saw a little bit of hesitation either on the way out or the way back. Just like they're getting less excited. You've already gone too far. You need to be keeping that shorter than that. So 2 or 3 birds or 2 or 3 retrieves and 2 or 3 shots maybe is a great session. And do this over time. Don't try and cram it all into one. They're conditioned to gunfire now because it won't work.
Right. And
it might work, but it could also go really bad.
Always end on an exciting note. So after you have done a retrieve and you're like, yeah, my puppy looks like they're getting a little less enthused about this. Get all excited, act goofy, tease them, play, yeah, get that bird, yeah, and then put it away. Don't give them another retrieve, but end with that level of excitement coming back up. So, this was so fun. I do want another one, but I don't get another one. Maybe next time.
Absolutely.
So you can end that with a really excited, positive note with your dog. So we actually have a video on how not to introduce your dog to gunfire. So there's some other tips and tricks in there that you might want to check out, as well as if anybody's got a puppy and they're worried about fireworks. I don't know if we actually talk about that in that video.
No. We might.
I don't remember. It was a while ago. But it's also a really good resource to check out whether about fireworks or just you're looking at doing gun introductions. Because we just got reached out yesterday about how to do a gunfire introduction. Should I go to a clay shooting event? I'm like, no.
Not for the intro.
No. It may have worked out for your one dog one time and you're super lucky, but it's definitely not something that I would have attempted with any of our dogs.
No.
Ever. Just because it can set you up for some not success.
Thanks, guys, for watching. That was a fantastic question, and we appreciate everybody's questions this week. We got to as many as we could, and we're sorry for any of you that sent questions that didn't get answered. Definitely, if you're still needing help, reach out to us at patreon.com/Standing Stone Kennels, where we are answering questions on the daily. There's very, very infrequent times that we aren't getting to that 6 days a week. So.
Yep. Usually Sunday we try and take a family
Try
day.
to. Yep. Try to invest as we can. So thanks, guys. I'm the guy with the pink gun.
I'm Kat, the dog trainer.
And we will see you in the next video.